Paul Paede was a German painter who was born in Berlin on December 31, 1868 and died in Munich on January 4, 1929. He is best known for his paintings of female nudes, which earned him the nickname, the Rubens of Impressionism. He also painted landscapes and portraits of famous people, such as actors and musicians. Paede had an early interest in art and received training as a lithographer. In 1898, he enrolled at the Academy of Fine Arts in Munich, where he studied under Ludwig von Lofts, a renowned painter and professor. He was awarded a scholarship after his first semester and soon became one of the most promising students at the Academy. He developed his own style of painting, influenced by Impressionism and Realism, and focused on capturing the light and atmosphere of his subjects in striking detail. One of his favorite subjects was the female nude, which he painted in various settings and poses. He often used models who were his friends or acquaintances, and portrayed them as modern and confident women who were not ashamed of their nudity. He also experimented with different techniques and materials, such as oil on canvas, pastel on paper, and watercolor on cardboard. Some of his most famous paintings of nudes are, female nude in front of a mirror on sofa, female nude at the window, and the necklace. Paede was not only interested in painting women, but also in socializing with them. He was married in 1910 and had 2 sons, but he also had many affairs with other women. Some of the models he was involved with even achieved the muse status, which cultivated almost unending inspiration for many of his works. He was also known for his charm and charisma, and he enjoyed attending parties and events with his friends and colleagues. He was friends with many other artists, such as Franz von Stuck, Lovis Corinth, Max Liebermann, and Max Slevert. He also met celebrities like Thomas Mann, Rainer Maria Rilke, Gerhard Hauptmann, and Richard Strauss. Paede was also known to be a talented landscape painter, who traveled to different places to capture the beauty of nature. He visited Italy, France, Switzerland, Austria, and Belgium, and painted scenes of mountains, lakes, forests, fields, and villages. He had a keen eye for color and composition, and he created intimate views of nature that were less measured than his nudes. Some of his notable landscape paintings are Lake Garda, the Alps, Autumn Landscape, and Village Street. The art historian Michael Lassman wrote about Paede, quote, "He presented his models as uncomplicated companions who showed themselves without shyness in their nakedness," unquote. At the same time, he emphasized the importance of Paede for landscape painting, quote, "In their immediacy, his intimately conceived natural sections are undoubtedly less time-bound than his nudes," unquote. Paede's life was full of interesting anecdotes and stories that reveal his personality and artistic vision. Here are some of them. One of his most famous paintings is The Necklace, which depicts a nude woman wearing only a pearl necklace. The painting was inspired by a real incident that happened in Paede's studio. He had invited a model to pose for him, but she arrived late and without the proper clothes for a sitting. She apologized and said that she had forgotten her suitcase at the train station. Paede told her not to worry and gave her a pearl necklace that he had bought for his wife as a gift. He then asked her to pose with the necklace on, and he painted her in a spontaneous and expressive way while she was fully nude. One of his frequent models was a famous French actress, whom he portrayed in several of his paintings. In these works, he was able to capture her expressive features and elegant posture with vivid colors and brushstrokes. He also painted her nude, showing her confidence and beauty which transcended the typical depictions of women in the latter half of the 19th century. Paul Paede was also fascinated by the occult and the mystical, and sometimes incorporated symbols and themes from various esoteric traditions into his paintings and drawings. He was known to be a charismatic and sociable person, who enjoyed entertaining his friends and models in his spacious art studio. One of his favorite ways of interacting with them was by engaging them in tarot card readings and Ouija board exchanges in the parlor adjoining his art studio. He would often invite them to sit around a large wooden table, covered with a dark cloth and adorned with candles and crystals. He would then shuffle his deck of tarot cards, which he had designed himself, and ask them to pick one or more cards that represented their question or situation. He would then interpret the cards for them, using his intuition and knowledge of the symbolism. He would often surprise them with his accuracy and insight, and sometimes reveal secrets or hidden aspects of their personalities. He would also encourage them to share their thoughts and feelings, and offer them advice or guidance. Sometimes, he would use a Ouija board to communicate with spirits or entities from other realms. He would place his fingers on a wooden planchette, along with one or more of his guests, and ask questions to the unseen forces. The planchette would then move across the board, spelling out words or phrases. He would then translate the messages for his guests, or ask them to do so themselves. He claimed that he could contact various beings, such as angels, demons, fairies, ancestors, or even famous artists from the past. He would sometimes ask them for inspiration or advice for his art, or for personal matters that might be troubling him. His guests were often amazed and intrigued by his readings, and some of them became regular visitors to his studio. They found his sessions to be fun and stimulating, as well as enlightening and comforting. They also admired his artistic talent and vision, and felt a connection with him through his art. Paede was a unique and talented artist, who used his innate gifts to create beautiful works of art and to enrich the lives of those who were around him. When Paede was able to get away from his home studio, he would make special sojourns to paint the beautiful scenery of Bavaria and Tyrol. In these lovely locations he painted intimate views of nature, such as fields, forests, lakes, and mountains. He used bright and warm tones to create a harmonious atmosphere. It was in many such works he would introduce mythological figures from the rich history of both Greek and Roman cultures. Paede died suddenly at the age of 60, after suffering a stroke while working on a painting. His death was mourned by many people who knew him or appreciated his art. His paintings are now displayed in various museums and galleries around the world, such as the Germanisches National Museum in Nuremberg, the Kunsthalle Bremen, the Stadel Museum in Frankfurt, and the Neue Pinakothek in Munich. Paede was a remarkable artist who left behind a rich legacy of paintings that reflect his talent, passion, and joy for life. He was one of the most influential German Impressionists of his time, who created original and captivating works of art.